It's great to be back, night before Thanksgiving. It was a fun start tonight, a great crowd. It's great to have, an opponent from so far away that we haven't seen before. And because of that, it was fun to prep, just getting into it. And I thought the team did a really nice job of being focused from the jump. And that's showing maturity. We're just gaining more and more consistency in the way we're approaching everything. And that's a great sign for a team that's relatively new and relatively young. And as a coach, you're just so thankful to see that, and just to be able to relax and know that this team is taken care of. They're going to come ready to play, and that's what they're doing. And so the start was indicative of that. Certainly, we lost a little momentum towards the second half of the first quarter, and you got to give UMBC a lot of credit for playing a great first quarter and really coming with a lot of fight. We went into a scoring drought. They got control of the game. Next thing you know, we're behind on the board, and they've hit some tough shots. And then we regained momentum, had a great second quarter, great third quarter, and finished this game strong. And so I thought overall it was a step forward for us, a sign of great things. And, the two sitting next to me both had huge nights tonight. It was really fun to watch not only them play, but this team.
Coach, you kind of grabbed the headline there with the announcement of matching Aki's record there. Can you just reflect for a minute on what it means to match her wins mark here at Oregon State?
Man, first off, I didn't know. Last year wins were hard to come by, and so then I was like, well, something like that may never happen, and so of course you just hang out long enough, things like that happen. But what does that mean? First off, I love Aki Hill. She's a huge part of our program to this day. I was a student when she was the coach. I knew some of the people that played for her, and she's been, a regular presence with us and has spoken into this program over the years. Our Final Four season, she had a big impact at the Pac-12 tournament, being a part of that up in Seattle, and sharing with the team. Her former players have come back. They love her, so that she's just been, a presence with us my whole time here. In fact, my first month on the job, she came in to meet with me and sat there and got to know me, and we built a relationship from that point, and she's been a source of encouragement to me for 14 years now. And so I love Aki. To match that win total, that's very special for every reason. There's no negative there, but the only way stuff like that happens is if you're around great people for a long time. And so that's what it means to me. It just means a milestone causes you to reflect a bit. And what I reflect upon is some of the most magical moments. Certainly, there's been a lot of hard things, over the years, but some of the most magical moments you can imagine, and incredible people throughout, So this has been nothing but an honor to this point, and so thanks for asking. That was special at the end of the game today. And so, to tie Aki means a lot to me, and I don't know. Thanks.
Talia, you had an all-around game, 7 points, 7 boards, 8 assists. You've got a kind of a new court partner in Donovan. That relationship, is that freeing you up to just not have to worry about scoring so much and the presence of players like Reagan, just to play an all-around game?
Yeah, for sure. I think I don't feel very much pressure to score the ball this year. Obviously, going to need to make more shots when it comes to Pac-12 play. But yeah, I just enjoy getting everyone involved, and passing has always been kind of my favorite thing. So when you have someone like Ray that just kind of makes it easy, and Dono does a great job running the one, I kind of just approach every game just whatever I need to do, and that's different night to night. So today was a little bit of everything, but I thought everyone played really well and played their roles.
When you have a new backcourt partner like Donovan, how long does it take for you two to get used to playing together and sharing the court and sharing the ball?
Not long at all. I think for her, she's adjusting to the college game so well and so fast, and it reminds me a little bit of playing with Aaliyah my first year. And so Donovan just is getting better every day, and especially defensively. I mean, I feel like everything's just easier when she's out there pressuring the ball. So she's doing a great job, and I've known her for a long time, even before Oregon State. So I think we just get along really well, and playing with her is very easy from the beginning.
Reagan, I believe you set a new career high for rebounds. Is that tied it at 16? Okay,
Yeah.
and close to a career high in points. Did it feel like early on that this was going to be a good night?
I guess you never know. Every team is a challenge, and we can't underestimate any team. And we definitely, in the second quarter, Coach already touched on that we had a little bit of a dip that we had to come back from. And so, recognize those dips is super important, and weathering those storms is super important. And so you never know what kind of night you're going to have, but you can give max effort, and that's what I love to see from our team tonight. Obviously, you touched on Talia doing it all tonight, Donovan in the front court, Kenny in the front court, just hounding the ball, and then Kelsey knocking down those shots. I mean, all of that stuff coming together, it was a fun win.
You've gotten through the early part of the schedule, 4-0, going into the Thanksgiving break. Is this team about where you thought you'd be at this point in the season, or maybe a little ahead of where you thought a new group might be?
I think we're ahead of, it depends when you'd ask me. If you asked me yesterday, I'd say, well, we're where I know we are. But if you asked me a month ago, or a month and a half, or 2 months, I knew Italy showed us a little bit of what this team was capable of. And what I mean by that is how they operate together, how they get along, how hard they play. They are progressing so quickly, in my opinion. This is an extremely coachable group. They're hungry. They want to be great. And they're doing all the right things. They just come in and they keep it simple and they do the right thing. Effort's rarely a conversation. And they just want to be coached. And when you have that, and then you have the inner accountability coming out of the group, and you have interior leadership that's really driving this, that's when the magic happens. That's when special happens. And that's what I'm sensing with this group. We saw it in the Villanova game really well. We saw it at Arkansas Pine Bluff. I mean, we were down early, and we had an opportunity to doubt ourselves or get tougher and really respond, and they did. Didn't surprise me, but they had to choose that. And then Villanova, that game was as tough as it was that early in the season with our youth together and our inexperience together, sign of great things. And so, we didn't overlook an opponent that, UMBC, we could have said, oh, this team is from a mid-major from the other side of the country. They're 1-3 or whatever their record is right now. We could have easily said, it's Thanksgiving and coasted tonight, and they didn't. They came out to play, and great teams play the same every night. It doesn't matter who your opponent is. We took another challenge tonight. We responded correctly in that second quarter, righted the ship, and put together a great performance. So I would say that we're ahead of what any coach could hope for or even predict. It's what I hoped. It's like the dream. It's the dream scenario right now. So I'm excited for this group to build upon it.
Reagan, your two front court partners, Tamia and Kelsey, they can both spread the floor. Is that helpful to have them out of your way so they're not clogging things up while you're trying to work down there?
Well, in my opinion, that opens them up. I mean, giving them space to knock down those shots. I mean, I think two of Kelsey's shots were from either kickouts from me or just because the paint was clustered, it kicked out and she had a wide open shot. So I feel like they're not in my way. I tend to be in their way sometimes. And so just spacing that out, and when in the specific plays that coaches run and just our transition into motion or into whatever we're running at that point, just it's built like that, so there is spacing. And so they can get shots up like that, and I can get a seal down low, and if the double comes, kicking it out. So I don't think anybody's in anybody's way, although sometimes I do tend to get in their way maybe once or twice.
Talia, you obviously came in very young, right out of high school, during what would have been your high school year, and played. What do you see when you look at this year's freshmen as they're getting started on their career? What do you see in their game?
They're just poised, and all three of them, they're kind of similar. They're very explosive and athletic, and I think that really helps them transitioning into this game. But they're all just very confident, and they don't carry themselves like freshmen at all. And so it's great to see, and especially two of them at least play the point guard position. So when they're out there, you know, they're the floor leaders, floor generals, which is a big task for a freshman, and they handle it very well. And so I'm just super proud of them, and I'm excited for them to keep growing in this preseason, and then how they handle getting into Pac-12 and, you know, the guards that they're going to be going against. But, you know, I think they're ready for it. They're confident, and they work their butts off, man. That's one thing about them. I think they've raised that, and coming in as freshmen and working that hard, it pushes everyone else, and it just raises the standard in the gym. And so that's been great for us this year.
Reagan, obviously a dominating performance tonight. How do you, I guess, move forward going with that confidence moving forward?
It's a great question. I mean, there's always something to learn, right? There's always something to get better at. My dad always said, stay happy, stay hungry, stay humble. And so I always just have that mentality of there's always someone better than you. So there's always somebody working harder. And so I got to up my game so that when the time comes, I do what my team needs me to do. I make good passes, I score when I'm open, things like that are going to need to improve. I obviously can't miss a shot and then put it back. I just need to make my first one. Things like that just need to tidy up. Obviously defensively, I just need to move my feet better. So things like that overall just need to be improved as the season comes along and Pac-12 starts. But Coach already touched on it. This is a special team, and we're excited to get going.
Go Beavs.
Go Beavs.